I want to make a hammer, but I don't have the tools. So it's time to make a top fuller. What's going on, everybody? Jason with HOJ Forge. Want to make a hammer. I've been watching James at County Line Forge. I'm going to put a link to a video of his about where he forged out a hammer by hand. And I was amazed and inspired. And the last hammer I tried to do by hand, here, let me give you an example. So remember the hammer I made at Dave McConnell's Northwoods Forge? It's that one, okay? Looks like a flippin' sweet hammer, and it is. That's the hammer I made. Remember that one? You can see the difference. Yeah. So anyways, I've been reluctant. I made this about 2 years ago, and I've been reluctant to try another one, but I think it's time. I watched the technique that James used, and he made a solid hammer. Well, he actually did 2 videos in a row. Both of the hammers were flipping amazing. I'm making the first one for me, and then we'll see. I might do some forging it forward with some hammers. Who knows? Okay, so the hammer I want to make is one that James actually made in his video, and that's a straight peen hammer. This is my 2-pound cross peen that I never use because I don't like cross peens. I've got a 3-pound, I've got a 4-pound. Got a bunch of different weights in cross peens, and I don't use them because I don't like the way the peen is angled on this. It's the wrong angle for me. So to use a cross peen, which this is, you either have to hold the steel like this, or you might be able to hold it like this. But basically the steel and the peen of the hammer, you know, has to be running opposite ways. So there's no real easy way to do that. If I had a straight peen, I could hold the steel at a 45-degree angle, the hammer at a 45-degree angle, and the peen would run this way, which would draw that steel out. And it's a much more natural way for me to hammer, to use the peen of a hammer. So a straight peen, rather than going across, is going to go up and down. And that's what we're going to try and do. Probably about this same size, maybe a tad heavier. We'll see what comes out. I don't know what stock I have around here that'll work, but we'll find something. But first and foremost, I need a top fuller to draw the cheeks out. So I'm going to go ahead and make a top fuller so I can make a hammer. So a top fuller is much like this. This is just a little tiny fuller. I use it, you know, when I'm doing small things. You need to put some fuller lines in, something small. A top fuller is just this, but much bigger. It's got a handle on it. You can use it with a striker. So I've got this old hammer that I was originally going to turn into a flatter, but I haven't been able to quite figure out how to do it, since where the eye is wider than this. I'm not quite sure how I'd upset that end, so I think I'm just going to turn this into the top fuller tool, because the hole for the handle's already punched and drifted to the right size, and just a little general shaping, and I will have my tool. Okay, there she is. Ready for the grinding. I'm going to grind, that nice and smooth. I'll grind the striking edge to give it a nice, contour? Bevel. Whatever it is. So, it doesn't mushroom out. Then I've got to heat treat just that edge, right? I think so. Anyways, it's getting pretty late round here, so I'm just going to let this cool in the forge to anneal a little bit in the coals overnight, and then I will get to the grinding, which for me will be tomorrow. For you, it'll be right now. So I cleaned it up to 120 right on the edge there, and I thought before I actually call this part good and start working on the handle, I'm going to try fullering some wood, I think, just to see what kind of marks I get. That should tell me, right? Good old slab of pine or something should tell me if I'm getting what I want, right? Okay, well, that's pretty much what I was looking for. Maybe I didn't go too thin. That's actually really just about right where I want it. And I was smacking it pretty good. I'm not seeing any cracks. Now, that was only wood, but, hot steel is going to be about the same. So, I think we're good. I'm going to start with the handle here. There she is, one top tool fullering thing. So now I can make a hammer. This was almost making a hammer in and of itself. But it's still pretty dang ugly. Actually, it came out looking halfway decent for me not knowing what the heck I'm doing. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the top tool. Is it cool? Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah, and it is heavy. Alright, we're going to go have tacos on a Friday.
You're not allowed to have tacos when it's not Tuesday. I already told you this.
We're not allowed to have tacos when it's not a Tuesday. We're going to go have facos on Friday.
Okay, there we go.
How did I have such cute kids when I look like this? Ugly but functional. Hey, before I let you go, just a reminder about the Patreon. If you want to see every little challenge that I faced with this, more of what was going through my head as I was trying to work through it, there's going to be an extended Patreon video. So for as little as $1 a month, you can go check that out if you wanted to see more in-depth coverage of what I'm doing here. So I've got that. I'm going to put a link in the description to County Line Forge's hammer video. The one that I think inspired me to try this hammer, which we'll do coming up. In the next couple of days, I'm going to do the 6-hour knife challenge. Peapoddy One and Big Dog Forge, County Line Forge, a bunch of them are doing this 6-hour knife challenge. So I'm planning to do that not tomorrow, which is Saturday the 4th, but Sunday the 5th. I have that tentatively scheduled to do. So that video is going to be the next one. And then I'll probably get on with trying to make a hammer. So, all right, here we go. See ya.